The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning or afternoon or evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Walsh, and I am the Director of Support, Training, and Documentation for BNI Connect. I'd like to welcome everybody to today's webinar. Today's webinar is entitled Building VCP with BNI Connect. And what we're going to be talking about a lot today is really filling out your profile and how to fill out your profile, where all of the things are located, where do all of these things show up, both on the public side of BNI Connect as well as the members-only portion of BNI Connect. Maybe some best practices, and we're always happy to answer any questions at all that you have about BNI Connect. Today's webinar is scheduled for 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes of content. It is a live webinar, so if you do have any questions as we're going through, please do feel free to ask those questions. The best way to do that is through that questions panel that's here in the GoToWebinar software. You can also raise your hand if you are at a computer with a microphone or you're dialed in via a telephone connection. I can open up your microphone if you would prefer to speak your question out loud. Usually with background noise and everything, the questions panel seems to work a little bit better. In addition, this webinar, including the questions, is being recorded. It will be made available in two places: in our support site, which you can get to by clicking on this question mark here in BNI Connect. That will take you to our support site. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a training section. And here you'll see all of our webinars broken out by month. So for example, you can click on May 2013, and you can review any of the webinars that we did in the month of May, including a copy of this Building VCP that was recorded previously. You'll also be able to find them on our YouTube channel. So if you go to youtube.com/BNI Connect Global, this is our YouTube channel, and we have all of our recorded webinars up here for your viewing and reviewing pleasure. So let's talk about VCP. And of course, VCP stands for Visibility plus Credibility equals Profitability. In other words, you need to be seen, you need to be visible. Then you also need to be credible, which means you have to have trust with other people, or people have to have trust in you, in order to get to that phase in the referral relationships for profitability. Now, let me show you what I mean by that, and tell you a quick story. A couple of months ago, I was sitting here in my office, and I'm a member here in the Rhode Island region. I've been a member since 2002, coming up on my 11th year in BNI. And one of my existing clients walked into my office, said, "I need a referral." I'm like, sweet. How often does that happen? I'm sitting here in my office at my desk just doing my work, and a client walks in and asks for a referral. So I said, sure, absolutely. How can I help you? And he said, well, you know, I have an in-house bookkeeper, but, you know, they're reaching the limits of their knowledge in QuickBooks. Do you have anybody you could refer me to? I said, oh, absolutely. I have a QuickBooks consultant in my chapter. So he's standing over my shoulder, and I really wanted to use the power of BNI Connect in order to pass that referral. So what I did was I went to our regional website, and I'm going to go to actually our test website because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here. But I went to Find a Member, and I typed in accountant. I found his name, and oh, hold on a second. And what I did was I opened up his particular account, and this is the page I came up with. Obviously, it's not this person, but there really wasn't a whole lot of info on this page. I mean, on that particular record, he didn't even have his address or phone number shared. So I couldn't really use this for anything. Now, the thing about these public websites is that they are accessible to anybody in the world. So not just other BNI members from around the world and across the United States, but anybody that could happen to be doing a Google search or using the website. For example, past members that still want to do business with BNI members, they're going to be going to BNI Connect in order to look up the information in order to pass those referrals or even use your services. This right here does not give very much visibility or credibility. Now, in contrast, let's say that somebody went to my regional website and they were looking for me. So I'm going to type my name in here, and let's say that they click on my record. This is a little bit better. You can see that I have my picture in here so people can see what I look like. Automatically raises the visibility. It has my phone number and my mobile number. They can click right through to my website. They can go and jump to my Facebook account or my LinkedIn account and really start to build that credibility right off the bat without even talking to me. It has my business description, what kind of clients are good for me. It has my logo. So automatically we're starting to build that visibility and credibility in order to lead to profitability. So what we're going to talk about today is where do we put all this information into BNI Connect so that it can be up there for the world to see as well as other BNI members. Now on the inside of BNI Connect, once you click on your members only link on your regional website or just go to bniconnect.com and log in, this is your home screen. What we're looking at here is the public profile. There's also an inside BNI Connect, a members only profile that you can see. You can view your own by clicking on this profile link at the bottom of the screen. So if I click that profile link, this is what my profile looks like when other people find me inside in the members only portion of BNI Connect. So it still has my picture. It has kind of a what am I working on. It has all of my roles so they can see what I do in BNI. I happen to be a member. I'm also a director. I'm also a system administrator here for BNI Connect. They can see my name, my business, my keywords, my company. They can see some additional phone numbers if I choose to share those. They can actually see my email address on the logged in portion, again, if I choose to share that information. They can see my website, my social media, and my full address. BNI members, looking at other BNI members, also can see more information. So there's also the Bio tab. Now they'll be able to see my 60-second presentation, so I could actually input a few 60-second presentations for them to read. They can see my gains profile, and they can also see my tops profile. You can also view each other's connections. So just like LinkedIn, the power in our network is the people that we know. So I can see the people that you're connected to, and you can see the people that I'm connected to, and we can click through our various networks in order to connect with other people. We can also see each other's testimonials. So these are the testimonials that other people have left for me on my profile, and we have the ability to share those. Now that's also a big credibility builder. There's a photo sharing library where you can share some photos with other people. A great use for this is also to share client testimonials. So if clients send you testimonials, you can upload those and share those through BNI Connect as well. You can see the social media groups. And another credibility builder is the training history, so people can see what kind of training you've taken. So where do we put all this information in? So the place to enter this all in is under the My Account button. And there's a button in the upper right-hand corner that says My Account. And this is where you can put in all of this information. So when we click on My Account, this will take you to the back end of your settings. And you can see that it's broken into a number of different tabs. So we have the tabs listed here right under your name along the top. We have a main profile tab, a user profile tab, contact details, account settings, bio, and training history. On the first tab here is your user profile. So this is really the very basic amount of information about you. So you can select a title if you'd like to, a Mr. or Mrs. Doctor, and verify to make sure that your name is correct, as well as your company name. Now, if you're here on the call from the United States, you'll see this field here that says VAT reference number. You can safely ignore that here. What VAT stands for is value added tax, and that's kind of like a sales tax that a lot of other countries have. In some countries, it's mandatory for you to store that as part of your business profile. In the United States here, we do not need to do that, so you can safely ignore that field. The next few fields we do not have the ability to change directly, but you can use them to verify that it's correct. So this will show you your industry and classification that you're listed as. So do make sure that is the most appropriate based on what's available in BNI Connect. If you find that there's an error in that, all you need to do is to contact your current leadership team if a change request needs to be made to change your category, and or your regional office. Your regional office will have access to go in and change that to something else if it's not correct. It'll show your chapter and what your current membership status is, whether you're active or whether you're late. Now, the next two fields we should spend a couple of minutes on. The first one is the My Business description. And what the My Business description is, the way I look at it, it's kind of like your elevator pitch. So if you think about when you go to a networking event, or maybe it's even during open networking at your own BNI meeting, this is the way you would describe your business to somebody that you've really never met before. So it's not quite a 60-second commercial, more of a generic overview of your particular business. I'd usually keep this to a couple of sentences, maybe 4 or 5 sentences, a paragraph, explaining what it is that your company does. Now, one of the reasons this one is so very important is because this is one of the ones that appears on the public side as well as the members-only side. Again, looking at my public profile, up here in this gray box, this bluish gray box, is the My Business description. So this one has a very high visibility. So definitely spend some time putting in some good words to describe your business. In case you're wondering, this does get updated automatically immediately whenever you make changes. So let's say that I wanted to change this description here, and I type in a bunch of new things, and I click Update. This public site, as soon as I refresh it, this public site is pulling the information directly from the inside of BNI Connect. So you don't have to do anything special. Just make sure you hit that Update button, and the very next person that goes to your profile will see that updated information. So I'm going to go ahead and put my old description back in there and save it. Now, the next thing here is the keywords. You get to define your own keywords to describe your business. And the keywords are important because this is how people are going to find you when they don't know your name. So when we're searching for people both on the public side as well as on the member-to-member, if you're looking to connect with somebody in BNI Connect, a lot of times we're not going to know the name of the person it is that we're looking for. So we're going to use keywords in order to do that. Now, when you're searching, it is going to search against your classification as well as your chapter, but you notice here my industry is computer and computer services. But let's say that somebody was looking for computer repair. If they just search for computer or computer services, if they just use the word repair, they're not going to find me. But if I put that into my keywords, as you can see here, I have repair in for my keywords. They can then find me when they do a search. So for example, if I go back to my regional website here and I go to find a member, and I want to look for people that do computer, I'm going to find a whole bunch of people here. Big, long list of people. Now instead, if I want to find people that are searching for repair, oh, I think I spelled repair wrong, it's going to pull up with less people. So this is a shorter list. The other list was about 3 or 4 screens long. And this list is only about 20 people. So this gives me a better chance of getting found for exactly what it is that I'm. And again, if I do computer repair, I'll see an even shorter list of exact matches. So this really helps to improve your visibility as well as credibility, being found for what it is that you're looking to be found for. If you're looking for some good ideas, a great person to ask would be the search engine optimization. has cut out. Can everybody still hear?
Welcome to GoToWebinar, Web Events Made Easy.
I'm getting a notification from the webinar software that the audio connection cut out temporarily. Can everybody still hear me? Okay, excellent. So I'm going to continue on. The next tab on the profile is your user profile. So this is really where you put in your, you can set your own username. So right now, if you have a username that you're not happy with, or if you're using your email address and your email address changed, you can go ahead and change that at any time by clicking on the Change Username button. That'll allow you to put in anything you'd like as a username. As long as it's not being used, obviously, by somebody else in the system, it does need to be unique. And again, if you're not happy with your password, especially if you had to do a password reset and it gives you one of those big 30-character randomly generated ones, you can always change that by changing your password. Now, the next two things, the memorable question and answer. If you ever lose your password, you forget your password, this is your challenge question in order to get a new password set for you. So, for example, you can see right here, my memorable question and answer is my daughter's nickname and Livy. So let's say that I go to log into BNI Connect and I forget my password. I can always click this lost username or password. And as long as I type in my email address, it will ask me my question and I have to put in the right answer. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that your question and answer are case sensitive. So right now you can see that my answer here is Livy. If I happen to answer this with a lowercase l, it will tell me that my answer is incorrect. And it will disallow me from getting a new password. The next two things on the page here are your profile image and your company logo. So the profile image, if you need to change your picture or change your logo, you can do so by clicking on the Change Profile Picture or Change Company Logo button. To upload a new picture, just click on the magnifying glass. And this will open up a window to go find a new picture on your computer. Once you double-click that picture, like let's say I wanted to change my logo to this traffic light, it then gives me the opportunity to crop this picture if I'd like to. And then I can click Save. Now I'm going to cancel that because I do not want my password changed at this time. The next tab here has all of your contact details. So it does give the opportunity to put a whole bunch of different numbers in here, your phone number, direct number, home number, mobile number, pager number, voicemail number, toll-free number, fax number. You can put any or all of those in if you would like to. The ones that will appear on the website, though, and these are the ones that you want to keep in mind, are going to be your phone number, so your main number here, and your mobile number. So again, if I go to my account back here on the public website, it will display my main, my phone number, and my mobile number. So those are the important ones to have in there, especially for the public visibility. The next thing is the email address and the website. Now keep in mind, you'll notice that on the public website, the email address will never be listed. Too easy for people to steal email addresses by just going through websites. What we do, however, have is the ability to send you a message. So if somebody comes across your profile and wants to communicate with you, you can click on the Send Message button. And this message will actually go to your real email address without displaying your email address. So your privacy there is still maintained, but people can still get an email to you and communicate directly through the website in order to get in touch with you. You can add any of a number of social networking links.
So for example, if I wanted to add an academy, I could add one in there and just put the link in that leads to my account. And finally, we have our address details. Notice that there's two addresses here. There's a primary address and a billing address. Now the primary address, this is the one that's going to appear on the website. The billing address will only be used by your regional office in order to get in touch with you. This address is visible nowhere else in the system. But let's say that you work from a home office or you don't want your address to appear online. Well, my suggestion is you just put something into the primary address, something like private or by appointment only. And then when you save that, up on the site, it'll still have the rest of your contact information, but you can see here that my address now says private or by appointment only. So my home identity is saved there. I'm going to go ahead and put that information back though, because I actually do want my address to appear up on the internet. We do have a question. Daniel says, some of our members are having trouble being found when you try to find them using the search button on BNI Connect. Happens even when you enter their name. Is that a keyword issue or something to do with their profiles or what? I'll tell you what, Daniel, we'll do some experimenting with searching as soon as I get through the remainder of this part. That way anybody that needs to leave right at the bottom of the hour can still get all the content in. But I definitely will answer that question in just a couple of minutes. Okay, I'm going to skip over the next tab and come back to that in a minute. The tab after that is the Bio tab. Now the Bio tab is your bio information. So the first section here is your typical bio, and this is the one that usually your secretary-treasurer will hand out before your 10-minute presentation. So it has your years in business, previous types of jobs, spouse, children, pets, hobbies and interests, city of residence, years in the city, burning desires, something no one knows about you, and your key to success. One of the great things about filling this out here is that your secretary-treasurer doesn't have to hunt you down before your 10-minute presentation in order to get that information. You can kind of set it and forget it by entering it into BNI Connect and then having it always there. The next two things here are the commercials. Now, why would it be a good idea to put your commercials in BNI Connect? Right now, there are approximately 150,000 members in BNI around the world. I can almost guarantee you that 149,922 of them will never come to one of your chapter meetings in order to hear you give a 60-second presentation. However, they can read your 60-second presentations on your profile in BNI Connect. So why not share that information with a much broader audience so that they can perhaps be able to pass you a referral? The next section is your gains profile, so the goals, accomplishments, interests, networks, and skills. Take some time to fill this out. One of the things that we're taught in our member success program is that before we do a one-to-one with somebody, we should be doing a gains exchange. Well, in the past, we would have to fill out a new copy of the form and fax it over to them or scan it in and email it or somehow get it to the other person before that one-to-one. Well, now if you have it filled out in BNI Connect, the other person can read it right from your profile. Having the gains profile filled out will help to increase credibility because when you do that one-to-one, it'll open up whole new avenues of conversation that you may not have talked about without knowing that information ahead of time. And finally, we have the TOPS profile. Ideal referral, top product, top problem solved, favorite BNI story, and ideal referral partner. If you have a limited amount of time to fill out all of these things, and this filling out your bio and your gains and the commercials and the tops, that might take you a half hour or even an hour. If you have limited time, do the tops profile first. And the reason that I say that is because that is what appears here on the public side. So this has a much wider visibility, and people are hitting these public sites via the internet on a daily basis. So make sure that you fill out your tops profile and have that accessible for people to learn more about you right up front. Of course, if you make any changes on any of these pages, do make sure to hit the update button so that those changes are saved. When you hit the update button, you'll see it flash saved for a couple of seconds right underneath. The last tab is your training history. We can't make any direct changes here, but you can go through and make sure that all of these are correct. So if there's anything missing from this list, maybe you attended a member success program and it's not listed here, or you went to your leadership team training, don't panic. Just contact your regional office and they will be able to manually update your training history in order to get that in there. All right, I'm going to skip back to this gear tab, and this is the account settings. Now you do have control over what is visible within BNI Connect for the members only side, as well as on the public side of BNI Connect. So the first section here is the member to member settings, and that's that inside BNI Connect, the members only portion of BNI Connect. Now this has to do with which tabs and which information is visible. And if you recall, you can always click on the profile button here in order to view your own profile. So again, it's going to control which of these tabs are visible when people find you in BNI Connect. So you can choose to show your bio tab, your connections tab, testimonials, your picture tab, your email address, and your contact details to either everybody, just people you're connected with, or to nobody at all. This second section has to do with the public websites. So again, that's this profile here. And you can choose if you would like to opt out of the public websites completely. You can go ahead and uncheck this box, and then you would not be found in a search at all. And Daniel, this might have something to do with if people aren't found on the public websites, they should really make sure that they have this checked off that they are visible on the public websites. The second thing is to allow people to email you. So when that button is checked, this send message button will appear. If that is unchecked, then this send message option disappears. And finally, to hide your contact details. One thing to note is that this will hide all of your contact details. So if I go ahead and uncheck this and go back out to my public profile here, you'll notice it removes my phone number and my address. So that's why I was recommending before, if you have a home-based business, you might want to put it in private and or by appointment only rather than hiding your details completely. Now the rest of the settings on this page have to do with how BNI Connect notifies you of certain things. This first section is if you're participating in groups, if you are a member of one of the groups in BNI Connect, how often you get emailed about updates in any of those groups. If you are the creator of a group or are heavily participating, I highly recommend that you choose every time a new post is added. Otherwise, you can choose a once per day daily digest, a once per week daily digest, or you can choose to opt out altogether. The second section has to do with the social media portion. So you can get a copy of your emails, your internal messages. BNI Connect does have an internal messaging system. You can get copies of those forwarded to your regular email. You can also get copies of your connection requests and recommendation requests to your personal email as well. So that covers the different areas of the profile and how to fill those out so that you are more visible, credible, and profitable online in BNI Connect. What I'd like to do now is to open it up for questions. For those of you that do need to leave right at the bottom of the hour, I do want to thank you for being here today, although I will stay on the line to answer any additional questions, and those will be recorded. For those that do need to leave, again, you can find the recording on youtube.com/BNI Connect Global, or go to the support site by clicking on the question mark in BNI Connect. Also, a great favor would be to please go to facebook.com/BNI Connect Global, and this will take you to our Facebook page. We do webinar announcements, tips and tricks and reminders and all sorts of things up here on our Facebook page. So please go there, give us a like, and participate in the discussion there as well. Okay, let's turn it over to questions now. So right now we just have one question. So if other people have questions, please do bring those up now. And again, Daniel says some of our members are having trouble being found when you try to find them. Daniel, do you have an example of a person? And let's try to find them and see if we can find them. So I'm assuming also, Daniel, that you're talking about this magnifying glass. If you're looking to find and connect with other people in BNI Connect, the place to do that is through this magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner. And when I click the magnifying glass, this will pull up a member search. Now, one thing to know is that in just a couple of weeks, we are going to be upgrading this functionality to a more Google-like search. But for now, it is more of a raw database search. So let's take a look, saying Bob Barnes in Bradenton, Florida. So the first thing that I would do if I was looking for Bob Barnes is I would just put in Barnes. So I would put in just his last name, and let's see if we find him. So it looks like there's quite a few people, and I do find a Bob Barnes and a Bobby Barnes here in BNI Connect. Now, let's see if this is the right person. So this looks like he is in the Florida Southwest area. Is this the right Bob, Daniel? So one of the things about searching for people in BNI Connect is that, let's say that I put in Robert Barnes, because I'm not sure if it's Bob or Robert. This one is not going to find him. Again, because of this particular search, this would be an exact search looking for Robert Barnes. And because his name is Bob Barnes, that would be why he's not found. But if I do put in Bob Barnes, it should actually find him correctly. And there he is again. The other thing is that with the searches in BNI Connect, if you put in a city and state, if those aren't exact, then it may not find them as well. So let's say that I put in Florida, but Bob has his address listed as the abbreviation FL for Florida. So it's not going to find it if I type in Florida, but if I put in just FL, this should find him okay. And it finds him here. So it would also mean if he has his address listed as not in Bradenton, but instead he has it in Orlando or in Fort Lauderdale or something else, that could be why he wasn't found either. But again, this is being upgraded in the very next version that's due in the end of the month to be more of a single field Google search where it will take into account multiple fields at a time and make it much easier to find people in BNI Connect. So hopefully that makes sense, Daniel. Does anybody else have any questions at all? I'd love to answer those questions. All right, if we don't have any additional questions, I would like to thank everybody for their time today. Thank you for being here. A good referral for me is if you found something useful in today's webinar to please let your other chapter members know about these webinars. And the upcoming schedule, our very next webinar, if you go to the support site, support.bniconnect.com, or click the question mark in BNI Connect, that will take you to our support site. Oh, the audio's gone again. It looks like my internet connection has not quite been cooperating today. But the very next webinar is tomorrow, June 6th at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. And we're going to talk more about that search functionality, connections, groups, testimonials, how to participate in the social media side of things within BNI Connect. So look forward to seeing you all there. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and thank you for participating. And happy connecting, everyone. Have a great day.